So one thing I've been meaning to talk about is how to address ticks in tick season. Now, as many of you know, you can get ticks all year long. They are active all year long, but like us, they're more active in the spring and summer seasons. And you can see behind me, I just walked through some tall grass on this gas line and I pulled a tick from my neck. It hadn't bit me yet and I just felt it and I pulled it. But there's some things that you can do to still enjoy these seasons, because if you're like me, you're going to be walking in the woods and there are some precautions you can take, and we're going to talk about those right now. So the first thing you should know before I give you any tips is what these things look like. Deer ticks are tiny black ticks. Those are the ones we're really concerned about. You might find other kinds on your animals or on yourself, but the tiny black ticks are the one we're worried about. So now that you know that, tip number one. So one thing you can easily do is just avoid the tall grasses. That's certainly gonna decrease your chance of getting Lyme's disease. But if you're like me, you're gonna be out here walking, and that often means going through the tall grass. So trick number two, tuck the old socks in to the pants. You could also wear light colored clothing, which I'm not doing today, just to be able to more easily see them. But you get a feel for them too. Like I felt that one crawling on my neck. But then again, I have like a evolutionary flinch to insects, which makes you look like a sissy when there's a bee and you're on a date. But it's also kept us alive. You can imagine how that selected trait, being flinchy, would be a good thing. But not everybody has that, so wear the pants, tuck in the socks, and we'll talk about some further tips. So another thing people say you can do, and I probably should because I pulled a tick off our cat last year and several off my dog growing up. Big blood ticks, where they have all the blood in the back, big green guys. But the little black ones are the ones we're concerned about here in Pennsylvania. So throw your clothes in the dryer when you get home. I guess that kills the tick. And oftentimes the tick get into you at night in some inconspicuous area. They're obviously smart enough to know not to sting you and suck right where you can see it. When I was a kid, the two I pulled off of me that I remember were right in my hairline here. One up a little higher when my hair's thicker on top. You just feel it because it's itchy, but often that's a day or two later, and the sooner you can get it, the better. So throw the clothes in the dryer. That definitely isn't a bad idea. But the most important thing is when you get home after a walk, take a shower, really check yourself. So I suppose the most important thing is if you get a tick, just get it off you as quickly as possible. A pair of tweezers will do just fine. They do make those little things to pull off ticks, but just get down there close to the skin, pull it out, don't fuss with it, put some alcohol on it. Move on, and if you have any problems, then get on the doxycycline. See, I just got one. I'm gonna get it off me right now, but that is a deer tick right there, and he is bit into me. You see him? I didn't do this on purpose, but I'm gonna show you how to get him out. Just grab him right there, as deep down as you can, pinch him, and pull him out, just like that. Now, I have no worries that I'm going to get Lyme from that because I got them out quick, but that's what I mean. They're all over the place, and you just got to be careful. I have DEET on my clothes, and I have some lemongrass and eucalyptus on my arms, and he still found his way on me. So I'm going to be in the woods, and I'm risking getting a tick. So you got to be extra cautious, and when I get home, I'm going to look over my body real careful, as I always do, but be mindful. They're out there and they can make you really sick. All right, I'm getting ready to go in the woods here. So the first thing I'm going to do is tuck in my socks. You could always wear long sleeves. Of course, the more clothes you have on and the tighter they are, the better. But it's rather hot here. And there are two sprays I use. I do use DEET on my clothes only, typically on my shoes and around my socks. Just like that. Right under the hem of my shirt. And then on my skin, I use eucalyptus and lemon oil. The other thing you should do is go watch the link video in the description That's through Adam Harrington's channel, Learn Your Land, or Learn the Land, I think. Good name for a channel. He posts about once a month, and he just did one recently on ticks, and he has a few ideas of his own that differ from mine. Some of them overlap, but check it out. But he doesn't use DEET or any kind of bug spray. I use 2 in the summer. Haven't started yet, but I'll show you. I do use DEET on my socks, pulled up over my pants to keep them from crawling up my legs. Don't know if it hurts or not, but I don't put DEET on my skin. So last but not least, let's talk about my experience with Lyme's disease and what I did and what you might want to do if you get bit by a tick and have some Lyme symptoms. One that gave me Lyme's was right here on my back, made a huge circle bruise right there. That's one of the classic signs. I wish I had pictures of it. It was so large and tender, and I got the shivers, and I had like no energy, just classic signs. In a day and a half of taking antibiotics, I felt fantastic and normal again. No symptoms after that, thankfully. But also the one you saw that bit me right here, that's not normal. I also had one the same day right here. All places that you can't see without the aid of a mirror or without the aid of a partner. It's why it's really important to have somebody else check you or check yourself in a mirror, or at the very least really feel around your body, especially in places that you can't see, because that's normally how you'll find them. But the sooner the better, because the longer they're in you, the more chance that it's going to give you that Lyme's bacteria, and also the more chance they get to really dig in, and then you really do have to get tweezers, get down there and pull them out. If they haven't dug in yet, they don't have their entire head buried in you, just go ahead and grab them and pull them out. Nothing to worry about. So if you have any of the classic symptoms, and you can look these up on Google, don't mess around. Get yourself a full dose of doxycycline. It is a bacteria that you need to kill, and doxycycline is the antibiotic that you want. Now, the CDC only suggests about 14 days of doxycycline, but most people that I know that have had post-Lyme's or chronic Lyme's suggest to get on a 28 to 30 day dose of doxycycline, just to make sure you entirely wipe it out rather than let it come back and then fight it again, because obviously it's stronger then. I made sure that I got a full dose of doxycycline, but I need to say right up front that doxycycline is very hard on your stomach. You have to take it with food. If you don't, you're going to be sick for a while. So this is not a weak drug. It's a strong antibiotic. So be prepared for that, but you have to get on this. Seriously, I just want to reiterate, Lyme's disease is no joke. You can read about it for yourself, but you can have serious complications. You can have lifelong complications. You can even die from this if it's left untreated. So check yourselves, check your children, check your pets. And if you have any symptoms, by all means, get on doxycycline. There's just no substitute for antibiotics. They have saved my life multiple times already. So I just wanted to say that clearly once again. There is alternative medications, and I would never suggest that you only take this without the doxycycline. But a friend of mine whose daughter, or a friend of the family's whose daughter is suffering from chronic Lyme's, she told me to get on Japanese knotweed as well. It can't hurt. This is a combination of other herbs as well, but Japanese knotweed is something else you might want to look into. I now take this during tick season. So in the spring and summer, I just take these every day. I have no idea if it works, but it can't hurt. They're not very expensive. So the last and final thing I want to say is that if you do enjoy outdoor hobbies, don't avoid the woods in the spring and summertime. Just take sensible precautions, and if you get bit and you have any symptoms whatsoever, go right to the doctors or the hospital, get on doxycycline. Generally speaking, you're going to be fine. All right, guys. Peace. I'll see you on the next one.